Achilles. Only the divine intervention of Apollo ended his long reign as the greatest Greek warrior of all.
The bravest, strongest, and even the best-looking hero of the all-star Greek army that went to Troy to recapture Helen, Achilles was also rather too proud and bad-tempered for his own good, and his reckless rage would cost both his countrymen and the enemy dear. His mother, in order to make her son immortal and his body invulnerable, held him over a divine fire, or in some accounts, the river Styx. Thetis, knowing that her son was fated to glorious but short life, sought to hide Achilles away from the world, and so the boy was raised on Skyros with the royal family of Lycomedes, even in some accounts disguised as a girl. By far the richest source of our knowledge concerning Achilles' escapades is Homer's account of the Trojan War in the Iliad. Early on in the book, Odysseus, the wily king of Ithaca, is sent on a mission to find Achilles and persuade him to participate in the coming war between Greeks and Trojans. With him went 50 fast ships, each carrying 50 men of his own private army, the Myrmidons, fearsome fighters who had been transformed from ants by Zeus himself and given to his son Iacchos, king of Aegina and father of Peleus. The Achaean siege of Troy lasted for 10 years, and during this time, Achilles excelled in battle and sacked no less than 23 cities in the surrounding area. Early on in the conflict, the hero also ambushed the Trojan prince Troilus as he drank at a spring and sacrificed him in honor of Apollo. This was fortuitous for the Greeks, as an oracle had decreed that if the prince were killed before he reached 20 years of age, then Troy would fall. Things then were looking pretty good for the Greeks at this point, but their fortunes changed dramatically for the worse when Agamemnon, king of Mycenae and leader of the Greek forces, fell out with his greatest warrior and Achilles withdrew from the conflict. Agamemnon refused, and perhaps because the girl had been a priestess of Apollo, the god was displeased with the decision and sent a plague to wreak havoc amongst the Achaean camp. Achilles the man-breaker, decked out in his divine armor, was mad with rage. Without their talismanic warrior, the Achaean army's fortunes waned and the Trojans took confidence from Achilles' absence, even reaching dangerously close to the walls of the Achaean camp in their attacks and managing to start a fire amongst the Greek ships. Agamemnon offered fabulous gifts and the return of Briseis, but to no avail, and in this hour of great danger, even Achilles' great friend Patroclus pleaded with the hero to re-enter the fray or at least allow him to lead out the Myrmidons in battle. Achilles agreed to the latter, and giving Patroclus his armor, made his friend promise only to engage in defensive action and not pursue the Trojans back to Troy. When the Trojans saw the armored Patroclus, they thought that Achilles had re-entered proceedings and panic ensued. Patroclus, flushed with success, ignored his leader's advice and chased after the fleeing Trojans, even killing the Lycian Sarpedon, a son of Zeus, and reached the walls of Troy. Unfortunately for the young warrior, Apollo, protector of the Trojans, decided at that moment to intervene, and he struck the helmet and armor from his body and guided the spear of Euphorbos to strike him in the back.